welcome back to the channel. This bunch of people has asked me to explain the Mongolian hot pot that I've been cooking at camp, so I thought I show you guys what I do with that. So I've got a couple of different versions here. This is the electric hot pot that I use at home. Obviously, because electric, we can use that indoors. You just put water in here, got the heat control right here, there's the outlet right there. And then this one here, this is just if you don't have access to this, if you want to try this recipe at home, if you don't have access to an electrical hot pot like this, you can always just use an induction cooktop with a little metal pot on it. Essentially, you just need an ability to boil water. And then this one here is the one that I've been using at camp because I can use wood with it, or you can use coal. I found this on Craigslist for 20 bucks, and I knew exactly what it was when I saw it. So hey, super cool. I think I'll use this at camp. So put water in here, obviously have a fire inside, chimney, little kind of rocket stove idea, and we cook everything inside. So let's get started. So with the hot pot, the Mongolian hot pot, and you can Google the history on this. Some guy in, I think, Taiwan actually invented this. I think that's what it says on Google. So you can pretty much make any combination of things that you can boil in water. So in this particular case here, I've got I'm going to showcase some of the stuff that I just happened to buy for this particular demonstration. But you can do a vegetarian hot pot, you can do a seafood hot pot, and today's main ingredients is going to be the lamb. They're sliced very, very thin because you need to be able to boil that, let it cook very quickly. Some of the bases that I like to use is I like mushrooms. In this case here, we have enoki mushrooms, which are really, really neat, nice and crunchy. A little bit of greens. These are just baby bok choy. Vegetables that blanch really well would be a good idea. I've got some tofu, and there's lots of different kinds of tofu you can use. Baby corn is always kind of neat, and I also have some of these minced meatball right here for making the slurry that we have that you dip, or the dipping sauce. I like putting green onions. In this case here we have cilantro, and then the actual sauce itself is a satay sauce, and this, some of you guys might have problems trying to get a hold of this. So this is Bullhead brand satay sauce. It's one of my favorites, and you can put in extra garlic, you can put in extra sesame oil, pretty much to taste, hot sauce, anything like that. All right, so let's get some water boiling and let's get things going. I've got my fire going in here now. Got some water starting to boil a little bit. See the rocket stove effect here, and if I need to add more wood, I got little wood chunks here. If I need more wood, I can just either toss it in the chimney up top here, or I can lift this whole thing up, and then I got a couple of buddies here to help me out, and they'll be able to put some wood chunks in there as well too. So, but for now, I'll just throw a couple of chunks on top here. So to get started with, what I like to do is get some of my tofu chunks in there, because that'll take a little while to warm up. Let's get a few pieces in there, and also like to get some baby corn in there. These just come in a can. I didn't actually chop these up or anything like that. Get about half in there, and might as well throw in a couple of meatballs in there as well too. These are beef, but you can get them as seafood ones, or throw them all in. But you can get seafood ones. You can get, I think, chicken as well too. Right. So we're just going to put the lid on and just let that lid right here. Throw the lid on there. We'll just let that cook until they look like they're cooked. And meanwhile, I'll show you guys how to make the slurry or the dipping sauce. So to make the dipping sauce, so again, this is the Bull brand satay sauce in here. So today, to keep things simple for the sake of demonstration, all I'm doing is, there's the satay sauce. And again, you can add a variety of things to that to kind of bump up the flavor. You can add garlic, you can add ginger. If you want a little more spicy, you can put in hot sauce. Try to stick with Asian flavors, or Asian flavor hot sauce, just because this is pretty much an Asian dish. But hey, listen, if you want to throw some hot dogs in here to boil it, so be it. Do what you got to do, right? And one of my favorite things to add to the dipping sauce here is the cilantro and a bit of green onions. And all that happens is once I get the sauce in there, and ladle a little bit of the hot soup, the broth, in here, and that just simply becomes your dipping sauce. And I think we're almost getting ready to be able to, let's have a look at this here. Yeah, so you can see here, I'll bring you a little closer. So you can see here the water is definitely boiling. These beef balls are starting to expand a little bit, so you can tell they're actually cooking, but just need to let that heat up a bit more. And then we'll be able to start dipping start to get some of this out for dipping into our sauce here, and also start cooking some of the other stuff. So everybody, this is my buddy Bill.
Yep.
Christian is coming up, and another buddy of mine, Christian, is coming soon. He's just doing a grocery run right now. So we're basically ready to eat, and so I'm going to start with, just to cap off my dipping sauce. One of the things that I like to do is do a raw egg. Adds great flavor. Now, if you're not partial to the raw eggs, then don't bother with that. I like the consistency that it gives the sauce, as well as obviously adds a lot of flavor. So let me just show you here. So what I've done here is, you can see this consistency there. And now the cool part about this hot pot, because it's boiling water, so anything that I take from here, I'm kind of sterilizing my chopsticks here. If you're not used to using chopsticks, there, look at that, there we go. Not using chopsticks, you can use a fork. Tofu, that's all, you can feel the heat coming off of that. So I have this specialized ladle here, and that's great for scooping out the baby corn. And that goes into my sauce. Look at that, it's ready to go. And we're ready to eat. So one of the things we have to do is that once we've taken out some food, now is an opportunity to put in the next thing that you want to cook. So everything inside here is already cooked. Sorry, let me just step around here. So everything inside there is already cooked, so Bill can take that out and not have any concerns. But I'm going to throw in some of the vegetables in here. These are bok choy hearts. They don't take very long, but they give some great flavor to the soup, to the broth. Okay, so I'll throw that in, and then a little later on, once we get some of those vegetables out, I'm going to throw in some of the enoki mushrooms that are really mushrooms.
I love those.
All right, let's go ahead and have our first bites. Let's give that a try. Oh yeah, lots of stuff. The beef ball.
Beef ball.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff. And wash this down. Bridges Brewing Passion Project IPA. Let's give that a try. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, nice touch. Well, everyone, Kristen has joined us, and so the water I've got coming to a boil now, so this is a good opportunity. I'm going to put some of this lamb in there. So I think I'll put it all in one shot. So obviously if you're doing beef slices, then they could be kind of cooked to rare or medium rare, but because it's lamb, you kind of want that cooked. So you want a good boil in water. And there we go. on this side. And look how thinly sliced that is. Cooks super, super quick. In fact, the first pieces that I put down, they're already cooked. Or not all the way, but they're definitely starting to show. Some white. There we go. And again, that'll add wonderful flavor to the broth. And then afterwards, we have the piece de resistance, which is the noodles. There's a couple of different kinds of noodles you can use. Today I'm using a ramen style noodle. Udon noodle is a great choice as well too. And you end up with the noodles in your dipping paste, dipping sauce. You ladle the broth in here and makes a wonderful, wonderful warm soup on a cold day. So, and look at that, that's about 60 seconds and this is already cooked. So you want to grab that quickly because you want it to be tender. And again, because it's boiling water, my chopsticks are sterilized as I'm doing this, so you don't have to worry about dealing with raw food. If you're concerned about that, you can always use a different fork, different chopstick or tongs. That'll work as well too. So this is ready. So I'll be the guinea pig.
Go for it.
I'll dip in first. Get some of that wonderful lamb. Love lamb in my hot pot here. All right, dig in, guys. Let's see what that tastes like.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yum.
A little bit more of that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys, this is coming to the end of the meal, and so now we've got this wonderful, wonderful broth in here. And so the piece de resistance, again, I'm using ramen noodle, but we can certainly use udon noodle, which are fantastic choice, one of my favorites as well. Now we're down to this last little bit here, a little bit of noodle. Finish off our meal on this nice cool day, nice fall day.
It's beautiful out here today.
Yeah, take a little bit of
Oh, easy.
a little bit of broth, and look at that, folks. A wonderful little finish. All right, guys. Oh, a little bit of cilantro on top of that. Tiny bit more sauté for flavor.
There's more of those corns in there too.
A little bit more of everything. There's another piece of tofu if anybody wants to peel that off too.
I already had two.
That is so good. Let's try this, guys. Here we go.
Alright, noodle time.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, everyone, thanks for sticking with me with this channel. The next video that I'll be doing is more than likely the review on the Luminous bumper with the gallery boxes. So some of you, I've had quite a few requests for that video, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next one. So looking forward to the next video. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good day.